This is going to be tutorial 6 of the JavaScript beginner to expert tutorial for 2019, and we are going to be looking at conditional statements in JavaScript. So conditional statement is interesting and is also easier in JavaScript than in other programming languages. That is something I can tell you for sure from my experience. So how does it work? We're actually going to be looking at if-else-if statements, or if statements, if-else, and if-else-if statements. So this is something all programmers actually know how to say. But let's now apply it and use it to see exactly what is happening there. So this is called conditional statements. Now we are going to look at 3 of them, because in JavaScript there are 3 of them, and we are going to start with the if statement. Before we start with the if statement, I would like to show you the diagram, the diagram for the conditional statement. So this is the diagram. So what is happening here? So what is happening here is saying that a condition is first evaluated. If this condition is true, it executes this code. If it's not true, it simply ignores the code and continues with other codes. So it's simply one condition and one conditional code. So the outcome is this code is either executed or ignored. So that is the if statement that we've just discussed. So we have one conditional code and one conditional statement that is either executed or ignored. Let's take an example, and I hope this is going to be very clear. So now we are going to create a file and call it tutorial 6. So we are going to save this as program 6 because that is what we do. I'm going to save it as program 6. I'm going to select HTML or hypertext markup language from here. So now you can see that it understands it. Now let me make some room here. Okay. So here we have bar score is equal to 50. So we have a conditional expression that says if score is greater than 30, is going to execute this document.write statement. If not, it's not going to execute it. It simply ignores it, right? So let's try to see what happens. In this case, document.write is going to display the student passed because the score is greater than 30. So this is true, and therefore this is going to be executed. So let me display this page and let's see. So you can see the student passed has been displayed, right? Good. All right. So now you can see that this is kind of joining the two together. So let me just show you how to separate it. To separate it, you simply add a line break. So line break is simply okay, let's use a different line of document.write to add a line break. So simply say another document.write. I just say put a line break. A line break there should be this br. Alright, okay, so you can either put a semicolon or not. So if I run it and then refresh this page, you see it adds this line break, which is br/. So this is the same as br/br, but this is a short form of writing it. Alright, so let's go to look at another thing. This time we are going to look at if-else statement. In this case, we are providing a condition, one single condition, and 2 conditional statements. The first conditional statement is executed if the condition is true, and the second conditional statement is executed if the condition is false. So let's see how it plays out by taking an example. So I'm going to only copy the script part of this program and paste it, using it to replace the script here. So let me make it a little clearer. So I'm going to shift this backwards. I'm going to shift this backwards as well. I'm going to shift this backwards. Alright. So what you can see here is we have 2 document.write statements. We have the first one says the student passed, and the second one says the student fails. So what it's going to do is say if score is greater than 30. Yes. If score is greater than 30, print the student passed. If not, you now do the student failed. So this is the first conditional code here. that is executed when the expression is evaluates to true, and there's a second conditional code that executes when the expression evaluates to false. Right? So I'm going to save it and I'm going to preview it, and let's see what happens. So I'm going to run program 6. You can see the student failed, as you can see, because score is less than 20, so it tried this. Right. Again, you know how to add a new line to put this line on a new line. All right, let's look at something else. This time we are going to look at if, else, if. In this case, we have several conditional statements, 2 or more conditional statements, and 2 or more conditional codes. So in this case, the conditional expression is evaluated. If the expression returns true, then it executes the corresponding conditional statement under it. If not, it now evaluates the second conditional statement that is placed after else if. So what we have is if conditional statement, else if conditional statement, else if. So you can repeat it several times. So that is the if, else if, where you have several conditional statements and several conditional codes to execute. So let's take an example to see how this plays out. So I'm going to take only the script part of this and I'm going to paste it. And this time I'm not going to preview it, but I'm going to allow you to preview it by yourself. So let me make some room here. All right. So basically we have a score is equal to 60. So it says if score is greater than 50, we are going to write this. Now there's something you need to understand. If score is greater than 50 and it executes this document.write above average, it doesn't go ahead to execute every other one. But if score is less than 50, this is false, it now goes to check for the next one. If this is also false, it goes to the next one. So it only falls down to the next statement if the previous one is false. So try to do it a couple of times, try different values for score and see how it plays out. For now, I hope you understand the if statement, the if else statement, and also the if else if statement. So this is where I'm going to stop for now, and I'm going to thank you for viewing. Remember to subscribe, like this video, and also leave a comment for me if this has been informative for you.